What's going on YouTube? Jason Whitaker here, the DIY Dad, and let's talk about setting up our monthly budget. I'm going to use a laptop computer. I'm going to use Excel, and I'm going to show you how I set up my budget every month and every paycheck, um, and some tips and tricks that we do to make sure we're successful. So I hope you follow along. Thanks.
Right, so I am showing you my laptop at the moment, and this is Excel. Very easy to get there. You start with your start menu, you go down to Excel, you click open up blank workbook, and this is what you get. So there's a lot of things that you can do with Excel. This is not an Excel tutorial. It's just some tips and tricks on how we set up our budget for our house, and hopefully you can get some takeaways here and get your finances right. So the first thing you need to do is determine what bills you're going to pay at the beginning of the month and what bills you're going to be paying at the later part of the month. Real easy to do. If you look at the due by date on your bills, you'll see what the dates are that they're due, and you separate them by beginning of the month and second of the month. So what I like to do is first let's talk about our money coming in. So let's talk about our paycheck. So let's call this Jason's paycheck. And I'm just going to highlight and expand this column. And for those that are new to Excel, uh, these things here that go up and down, these are called columns. These things that are left and right, these are called rows. So I just expanded the column out a little bit, make it easier for me to read and enter information. And the second column right here, I'm going to enter how much money I have coming in. So, I have a salary. So we'll call my salary $1,500 per paycheck. And we'll put that there. And we'll call this our first paycheck. So this is what I get paid at the beginning of the month. And then every 2 weeks I get paid again. So we'll put this down as second paycheck. And another 1,500. And I don't know if your household is a single income or a dual income, but for this exercise, let's say that my spouse is working and this is her first paycheck. And let's say she's making $1,000 per paycheck. She's also salary, so second paycheck, and let's say that our second paycheck is $1,000. Let's expand this column a little bit. All right, so now we know the money that we have coming in at the beginning and the middle of the month. All right, so we've already separated our bills, and let's start entering our bills. So, we have a mortgage. Mortgages always normally due at the beginning of the month, and let's say our mortgage is $1,000. So I write 1,000. But I'm going to do this a little bit differently for Excel purposes, and you'll see the reason why here in a little bit. So instead of writing 1,000, I'm going to write negative 1,000. All right. And I also know that our cell phone is due at the 5th of the month. So, that is in our first paycheck. So, anything, from day 1 to day 14, we're going to be adding here. So we'll say our cell phone bill is $150. And we know that, we have a credit card that is due, say the 18th of the month, and we'll say that is $100. Make a $100 payment on the credit card. Our water bill, let's call it water. our water bill is $30, and then our car payment is negative $400, and our student loan, we'll call that $200. Our trash, not sure if your trash is paid by your taxes, but here we pay for a service, so our trash is $30. My natural gas bill, natural gas, is separate from our electricity here. So our natural gas is at the beginning of the month, our electricity is at the end of the month, and our electricity bill is $100. Now, really easy numbers to input, for this exercise, but you can change these numbers to best reflect your current bill. And again, if your paycheck is different every 2 weeks, you can modify these numbers for your paycheck. So let's talk about what we have remaining. We're going to add remaining on both of these, and I'm going to use a really cool feature in Excel called AutoSum. It's located right here, and this is where I want my ending number to be. So let's click that button, and you see that it highlighted the column that I'm adding together and all the rows that I wanted together. So I'm just going to hit enter. And at the end of first paycheck, I know I have $1,320. And our second paycheck, let's see what we have remaining there. We're going to hit auto sum and then enter, and we have $1,640 left over. Now, another thing that you can do is get very minute into the details on your budget, and maybe you want to add your grocery costs. So if you want to add additional things, really easy to do. Highlight the row, right click, insert, and you can see here that a new row was entered, and we'll call this food. And let's say we spend $150 a week, so let's say $300 on our food costs, and you notice that this automatically updated. So we'll do the same thing for the second half of the month. Food, we'll say negative 300 there, and now you see what money you have remaining after you add in food costs. To get even more minute, let's enter in fuel for our vehicles, and say every week we spend $50 per car, and we have 2 cars, so let's say negative 200 for fuel. $200 there. So we have a very good idea of what we have left over after we pay all of our bills, pay for our groceries, and pay for our fuel. Now, another really cool feature that you can do in Excel when you're paying your bills is inserting hyperlinks. So I like to use my workbook here every month. I'll go ahead and save this, and I'll use it every month and open it up, and I know after the first paycheck these are the bills I need to pay. But a really quick way to do that in order to pay bills faster and more efficiently is you can also insert hyperlinks. So let's say your mortgage is through PennyMac, and you can highlight, copy and paste your URL right into Excel here, or just type it in, and you see that now I have a hyperlink. Now I can click PennyMac and go directly into PennyMac and pay that, and say our cell phone is Verizon. And now I have a hyperlink for Verizon. So I can quickly just go down, boom, 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 pay our bills, know exactly how much we have left over. after each paycheck. Another thing that I like to do, and for new couples in relationships, or new households, or something that you want to start doing in 2021, is make sure that you're communicating with your significant other, your spouse, about what is left over after every paycheck. It is always good to know, if you're trying to plan a trip, if you're planning a major expense in the future, how much money you have left over, because you might want to take part of this money every paycheck, which is a good practice, and stick it into a savings account. This is also a good practice if you're a homeowner or a new homeowner. Is eventually you're going to have to replace things that break in your house. Appliances are not cheap. Your HVAC system is not cheap. You may have a washer and dryer go out, a dishwasher, or you might be looking at a future project down the road for your home. Maybe new flooring. You want to redo the bathroom. It is a very good idea to start saving for those things. So that maybe at the beginning of the month I'm going to put $200 away, because I can live off of 600 after all this, and still live very comfortably. Um, and maybe I can put 400 on my second paycheck into that account, and being able to start saving money, start creating a nest egg, so on and so forth. So this is how we do our budget at our house. I've been doing it this way for years. It's very effective. I know exactly how much money is coming out every month, every paycheck. I know, um, I make sure I communicate this with my spouse to make sure that she understands how much we have left over. If we want to, enroll our kids into a local soccer league, $150, we know we have it. We know if we want to go take a weekend trip to you know wherever that is after COVID, we know we have that money left over. Or maybe we don't have that money, and we have to dip into our savings a little bit, or maybe we need to save that money for a future date. You have a very good idea of your finances at this point. You know what bills are coming out when. So this is one way to set yourself up for financial success. So thank you for watching.
All right, YouTube. So that is how I set up my budget. How you can set up your budget. Really easy to do. It's always good to know what money's coming in, what money's going out. It's always good to know how much you have, especially when you're doing DIY projects like I'm doing all the time. So thank you for watching. If you like these types of videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.